Track and field fans, welcome to the Day 2 USATF Instant Reaction Show. This is Let'sRun.com co-founder Robert Johnson, former Cornell men's distance coach, of course. Just submitted my resume to Bobby Kersey. I'll be joined shortly by Weldon Johnson and Jonathan Galt, who are on site to get insight into those crazy 100-meter finals. There's not as much going on as day one, but you ended with the 100 finals. And there, folks. Melissa Jefferson Wooden, 10:65 for the win. Absolutely incredible. As good as she's running. I think many people saw the 10.6 coming, but you can say you saw it coming, and then to actually do it is a different thing. Sensational. Sensational run for her. Plus 0.4 win, world leader PB. She wins by 0.19. When you see that type of gap, it's reminiscent of Bolt. And incredible run for her. Pulling up the deep all-time world list. I mean, she's the world leader by 0.1 this year. Actually, no, 0.2, right? 10.85. So you've got FloJo at 10:49 on a number of levels. I'm laughing at that one. It was definitely windy. It was like the windiest day ever in Indianapolis. No way she ran zero wind. And there may have been some other things helping her in that run. Elaine Thompson-Herah, 10:54. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, 10:60. Carmelita Jeter, 10:64. And then Marion Jones, that's at altitude. Shericka Jackson, 10:65. So she's tied for the fifth fastest in history with Marion Jones, Shericka Jackson, and Sha'Carri Richardson. Speaking of Sha'Carri Richardson, Let'sRun.com broke the story earlier today. Jonathan Galt. She's been arrested. The rumors from Twitter were correct. She was arrested on Sunday night at the at the Seattle airport. Ray's Take said that was true on Twitter. We have the police report to prove that. We'll break that down later. Sad situation. The men's 100. Kenny Bednarek. I guess this is a good day for Grand Slam track because we said, hey, they're going to be judged on how these people do at the end of the year. If you're super hot early in the year and you bomb at the end of the year, even if there's a year or two of Grand Slam track, would anyone do it? Kenny Bednarek was great in Grand Slam track. He was great tonight. 9:79. What a race, though. I mean, look at these times. 92 for Courtney Lindsay. Tamars McCallum, Tennessee guy, doesn't even finish top 3 NCAAs. Third tonight, 9:83 PB. And Weldon, when he gets on the show, my brother's going to be devastated. He's a huge Trayvon Bromell fan, 9:84. Seasonal best. Christian Coleman, 9:86. You got to feel for him. He actually is going to be one of my big winners today, the way he handled the Sha'Carri Richardson situation. But yet another time, he just misses out on the team. I mean, you've got to feel for these men's 100 runners. You run 9:86 and you're fifth in the U.S. How about a high schooler, Maurice Gleaton? 9:92. And he's only sixth in the U.S. Ronnie Baker, 9:92, seventh. Just the depth in this event is insane. Insane. We had 5 guys at 9:86 or faster tonight for the men. The win was 0, according to John Kellogg. What? 0.4, so very little win. Into this race, ranked 6th in the world at 9:86. So, 6th in the world. So, that's the 100. Those were the big ones. But hey, this is Let'sRun.com. We're not known for our sprint analysis. We're known for mid-D and distance analysis. And we had the 800 semis. And the big favorites, the people we expected to be contending for this team, they all look pretty good. With an exception, I would say, to Addie Wiley. But Athing Mo, she was terrible. Terrible is not the right word. Terrible from her 2021 standards, yes. But where does she go from here? 4 years ago, she was the Olympic champion. 3 years ago, it was pretty surprising. It was viewed as a huge upset when she doesn't win the World Championship gold. Bronze was a huge disappointment. Last year, it's like pretty shocking she doesn't make the Olympic team for most. I don't think she would have made it even if she hadn't fallen. And this year, I mean, I didn't expect her to make the final. The reality is, I've already written an article. I'm just waiting for permission from Weldon and John to publish because they thought it would be in poor taste to put it up that soon. The Athing Mo, Bobby Kersey experiment has failed. Who should replace her who should replace Mr. Kersey as the coach? John Kellogg has raised his hand. I honestly think that 90% of college coaches could coach her better than he's doing. So I put the graphic up. What do you guys think? We'll talk about that. It's going to be a great article. I can go through my names, who I have. Who do you think should be coaching her? I think this is done. In the long term, this was good that she didn't make the final. Like, we don't want her holding on to Mr. Kersey for a year longer. He's not an 800-meter coach. So, anyways, I'm in Baltimore if you're just joining a special live edition of the Let'sRun.com Track Talk podcast. So, look, we normally have a podcast for everybody on Monday of the week, Tuesday. Then we have a special podcast later in the week for our Supporters Club members. If you want this show as a podcast, join the Supporters Club today, Let'sRun.com/subscribe. We're going live from USA's this week. We'll go live from Worlds. These planes tickets don't pay for themselves, folks. Join the Supporters Club. Support independent journalism. We'd appreciate it. All right. Where should we begin in terms of distance analysis? See, wow. I mean, there's some action. Oh, did I talk about men's 400 final? Quincy Wilson. Just weeks ago, ran 44-1. 44 mid, I think. Or is it 40? Let me look that up. Loses out to Will Sumner. I don't want to say I told you so, but I said last year, hey, everyone's assuming this guy's going to be like Olympic gold medalist. Meter runners. He can still grow into that. The body type does concern me. When you're drafting like 1-1, when you're attribute, Usain Bolt did not look like the other 100-meter runners. He was bigger. Wilson is smaller. And sometimes it's just a level of maturity, who matures the earliest. But let's go back to the 800s. And we had the 800 semis. Yesterday was fun to see the guys. I mean, the epic, we've been anticipating, we anticipate the men's 1500s for months. Now, the men's 800 is going to start being like that because you've got a lot of big names. And we spend more time talking about the men's races a little bit than the women on the show. I was realizing that when I was re-listening to last night's show. But it's because the men are then competing to be the best in the world in a lot of these races, like the 1500, the 5,000, the 10,000. The women they're interesting from a U.S. perspective, but when they get to Worlds, they're pretty much cannon fodder. But last night, the heat winners were all the big names. Tonight, the heat winners were all the big names. Coming into USA's on the men's side, we thought there's 4 guys, 4 studs for 3 spots. 2 world indoor champions in Bryce Hoppel and Josh Hoey, a world outdoor champion in Donovan Brazier, and an Olympian in Brandon Miller. And the 3 heat winners were Brandon Miller, Bryce Hoppel, Josh Hoey. Brazier and Isaiah Harris. Our time call for us in Heat 1. Heat 1 was the hardest heat because you had Miller, Brazier, and Harris. They all get in on time. Brazier had to work pretty hard to get by Harris, and coming in, we thought, is it going to be Miller or is it going to be Harris? That's still what I'm thinking. Is it going to be Miller or Harris? Miller had the upper hand today. I don't think that means too much because I think in the final, I expect it to be more of a pure time trial. Hoey's going to put the pedal to the metal. He's going to try to run 142 from the front. And we've seen Donovan Brazier, run 143 low this year. Can he do it again? Can he get in the 142s? Can Miller go that fast? We'll see. No, that question is still to be answered. Heat 2, though, my God. This might have been the story of the night from a Let's Run perspective. Look, I mean, he's a pro's pro. He's knows how to run the 800. He's tactically astute. He's very good. And he wins it. 1:45.31. Who gets second? Only 2 auto spots, no time qualifiers and more. The 16-year-old Cooper Lickenhouse. 1:54.16. If you didn't pay the $12.99 by the 1-year-old making the final was Hutz, he's got it. He gets it. And then he rallies up there, and just in the last 50 meters, he had a lot of ground to make up. But he made it up. Kicked down Jewett. I mean, I think Jewett, isn't Jewett did Jewett make the Olympics? I know he made a world team at least. I think he made an Olympic sport. I think he didn't seem that upset. He loses by 0.05. It was just, I was talking to my friend Jason Stewart, Kiwi Olympian, the 800. He's like, you don't see stuff like that. I agree. You don't see stuff like that. This kid is, we knew he was special, but it's even more special than the times, the tactical acumen, the fearlessness that, I think that the 144 is definitely there in the final for me. And 143 would not shock me. Jason said the same thing. We hadn't talked to each other. And I still think that you've got 4 guys for 3 spots. Hoppel, Hoey. I expect Hoppel and Hoey to still make it. Miller and Brazier to battle it out for 3rd or 4th. I think Lickenhouse is a clear 5th ahead of everybody else. Colin Solomon looked pretty good in heat number 3. He got the 2nd spot behind Josh Hoey. But I don't think he's going 143 either. He ran 144.8 today. And it wouldn't shock me if Mr. Lickenhouse runs 143. It wouldn't. It would surprise me if he makes the team, but it wouldn't. I'm not ruling it out. Kid special. Now we're going to find out. He was definitely in the slowest heat. It's easy to look amazing and have 2 moves. You obviously get 1 move in 8, have like a move and a half in a 145 race. 143 is a different ballgame. And it's probably going to be a 142 race. So, but what specialness. And then Josh Hoey, heat 3, Colin Solomon, Alvarado, and Camden Marshall. Top 4 all make it. 145.38 gets you in time. Solomon, good for him. I was mocking his tactics yesterday. He ran tactically terrible 1,500-meter race at NCAAs. Doesn't make the final there. He's in the U.S. 800 final. I think he's having fun. There's no pressure. Go out there and see how fast you can run. So, that's the men's 800. People are saying Rojo's internet sucks. All right, let's try it. I've got fiber here, folks. Got the fiber. Sorry if the streaming quality is not good. Hey, if you're complaining about the stream, we're recording locally. That's another reason to join the Supporters Club podcast. I never upload anything as fast as it did. I'll run a speed test right now, but I literally have just installed Google Fiber a few weeks ago. Must be a YouTube problem because I've got good upload. Oh, that's download. No, 134 megabytes per second. Okay, Linda's saying it's better. Good. What do you guys think? Type in the chat. If you're joining us on X, what are the odds that Cooper Lickenhouse 10%, 5%, 20%? By the way, O'Doul's like a fake beer. It's a Heineken, actually. I call it O'Doul's because when I was a kid, there was only one non-alcoholic beer back in the day. All right, let's move to the women's 8. Obviously the big story, I think Mo's out, but we'll go heat by heat. Nia Akins, she's won the last 2 USAs. She looks amazing. This is good Nia Akins. She's making the team. 158.09. Ajay Wilson, are we turning back the clock? 158.30. Megan Hunter, 158.42. They were well clear of Miss Athing, 159.79. I guess we got the answer. Was she straining yesterday when she pulled clear? Looked like she was leaning to try to break 2. Well, she broke 2. That's the good news. The bad news is she's been eliminated. By the way, how in the hell is she entered under Nike Swiss Track Club? The Nike marketing, Nike branding, it's a joke. You need to have real track clubs like Swiss Track Club Flag, Swiss Track Club Utah, Swiss Track Club Eugene. Don't just name everyone Nike Swiss Track Club. If they have their own coach, it needs its own name, and they need their own goddamn uniforms. Don't give them all the same uniform. So the Eugene uniform should be green, and the Flagstaff uniform should be yellow, and so on and so forth. But she's not a member. She's not being coached by a Swiss Track Club coach, so she should not be part of the Swiss Track Club. Heat 2 was the weakest of the heats, in my opinion. Sage Harder Collector looked great, 158.40. Maggie Congdon. She's now gone pro from NAU, 158.42. She's probably happy. She's running the 800. Raven Rogers, 158.78. Tobias, who was good indoors, 159.40. Off top 4, I'll make it. I guess no. Herta Klecker looks great. She so often looks great. I don't have faith that she's going to make this team. I've been fooled too many times. But my buddy, the Olympian, thinks she's going to make it. I just think sometimes she's running a lot of extra ground in lane 2. So you got to sometimes the 800. But are you taking her over Nia Akins? I'm certainly not. You going to take her over Addison Wiley? I'm not, although Wiley looked a little vulnerable today. And then Roseanne Willis. So let's go to the third heat. Addie Wiley, she's young. She sometimes gets it wrong in the 8, but she comes into this race after 2 second-place finishes in the Diamond League. So I think the 3 of us at Let's Run were like, she's kind of a lock for this team. But not after tonight. This has got to make you worry that she's going to get it wrong. First of all, again, my buddy Jason Stewart, the Kiwi Olympian, the 800, one of his big theories on the men's 800 is like they're running so much better because they run it so much smarter than when he was in back in the day. People used to go out really hard, first 200, and then like float and like rest up in the second, and now they run more even. Don't. So oftentimes it's like 1995. Here's Addie Wiley's splits, 7 flat basically. Then she runs 62.73. So you need to be running 156.5 at the worst. But why are you prelim anyways? So don't go out that fast. And she gets run down by Roseanne Willis. And you saw it at NCAAs. Well, I shouldn't say that because Nia Akins is a pretty smart runner. But Roseanne Willis is consistently understands pace. And she said to me at NCAAs, I backed off. No, she said to me, she said it in the interview. Like, she could sense that it was hot. So she backs off between 400 and 500. Whereas like Wiley always seems to be like 500. The last 100, the last 50 is the most important. So, I mean, Willis's splits weren't amazing either. 57.3, 62.3. But she allowed herself to be in third and fall back a little bit and move on. And yeah, I didn't even mention Michaela Rose. Juliet Whitaker's eliminated in Heat 1. Not a surprise. Olympic finalist last year, but she's been out. Michaela Rose, she was in the third heat. 201.32. But again, she goes out and she was ahead of Whitaker here. Like 57.09. If I was Michaela Rose's coach, I would say, look, you're not a very smart runner at these 800s. You go out too hard, you fade. Maybe she's not confident in endurance. But I would say run with Roseanne Willis. Run behind her. See what you can do. So, anyways. All right, let's talk about Athing. article should be up. Hopefully Walden gives me permission. It's like a joke that I have to get permission from my brother to. I'm not trying to be mean. Apparently he got upset because some guy went up to him in the stands like, "You guys are too negative. Like you said, Tracktown USA is dead." Walden should have said, "Did you see the crowd tonight?" Like there are. I know for a fact, and they say, "Oh, you won a Grand Slam track to fail." Like Walden was like, "No, we didn't." I wouldn't say wanted to fail. I just knew it was going to fail. Like. I'm one of the few people on planet Earth that knows, like for a fact, there's not a lot of track fans because I have a business trying to attract track fans. There's a limited number of diehard track fans. And diehard track fans like myself are tired of going to Eugene every year. So I don't go anymore. If they put it in a new cool city, if this was in Portland, Maine or Portland, Oregon, I might be there. Eugene, no. But, so we're too negative. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I had my doubts about Quincy. I'm too right too often. It's the problem. I just don't say things I don't think are true. So I was vindicated with Quincy Wilson. I was vindicated with Grand Slam track. I don't know how many times I'm vindicated. It's like the Rojo Victory Tour in 2025. But back to Athing, though. I don't think this is a mean article. I even debated publishing it before the meet. But again, I asked, I'm trying to be nicer. I'm trying to be the nice Rojo. This is the title of the article. The Athing Mo Bobby Kersey experiment has failed. Top 5 candidates to replace Bobby Kersey as Athing Mo's new coach. And I can read from this proposed article, but look, it's not mean. I said it at the top of the show. She used to be a 154 runner, consistently 155, 156. That's miles ahead. Look how far back 159 looks from 158 mid. Looks like she's in another stratosphere. And like, she's not close. Like, again, 3 years ago, it was kind of surprising for her not to make the team. Now, John, come talk to Weldon. Anyways, Jonathan Galt and Weldon Johnson are calling me on the phone. Going to take a brief pause. Yeah, I'm going to take a brief pause and talk to Weldon for a second. Weldon must not be coming to the website. Sorry, folks. He didn't know when. He said, "When's the show going on?" I said, "I've been publicizing it for 3 days on the homepage, 10:30 sharp. People don't want to wait." Anyways, I apologize. So, look, I said at the top of the show, she's gone from. This is the excerpt of the article. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Moo's results under Bobby Kersey have been extremely disappointing. They've been disappointing, extremely so. She's gone from unbeatable world beater to American also ran very quickly. Who should replace Kersey? And here are my 5 candidates. Are you ready for number 1? This number 1 might shock you. Number 1 is the woman in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Diljit Taylor, Swiss Track Club problem. She's best known for her success with the BYU women. She's now coaching the pros. She's a Nike coach. She's a natural fit. It seems to me that Athing Mo is searching for fulfillment, meaning she wants to be a model. Well, guess what? Diljit is a kick-ass. It's amazing to be a woman personality that really might help Athing Mo. She leans heavily into fashion. What woman wouldn't want to be coached by? I mean, she just wears these powerful shirts like Women Kick Ass, and I've got some cool Instagram photos of her in this article. It's amazing. Number 2 is a man. If you're looking for someone who can resurrect the career of one of America's all-time top 8 minor talents, Justin Rinaldi has to be at the top of your list. Why? That's the guy in the upper right-hand corner. He's already done it with Josh Hoey. Josh Hoey was a superstar in high school. He was terrible for years. Even 2 years ago, he didn't have a good 800-meter coach. He didn't have an 800-meter coach. He had a sprint coach coaching him. And guess what? He wasn't any good. He gets one of the top coaches in the world, and now he's amazing. So I think that Justin Rinaldi would be an obviously great choice for Athing Mu. Why it wouldn't work? Well, Diljeet, does Athing, will he coach? Would she coach her remotely? Does Athing want to move to BYU, to Utah? I think it'd be good to be on a team, have people to train with. Same with Rinaldi. Rinaldi's used to coaching people remotely, but I'm not used to him coaching any elite women. I don't think the physiological difference of coaching men and women is that much different. I think that there's more of a psychological difference. I think given that some of Mo's struggles may be from a lack of passion for running, an in-person coach and training partners might be a better fit. And there's some good 800-meter runners at BYU. Number 3, if you're looking actually for the best bet, in terms of just pure, if you're looking for like pure, if this was baseball and the teams just like this, and the Dodgers had all the money, Athing Mu would be bought by the Dodgers. She would be Shohei Ohtani, and she would be flying out to Manchester, United Kingdom, and joining Trevor Painter. That's the top women's middle distance group in the world. You've got Keely Hutchinson. You've got Georgia Hunter-Bell. Now, why this wouldn't work? Well, he coaches her number 1 rival, Keely Hutchinson. Having Mo and Hutchinson on the team would be like having Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen on the same team. Plus, Athing lives in LA. Is she really going to move to England? But maybe they could embrace it like 2 superstars training together. I mean, Keely is a big famous person in the UK. So if Mo wants the fame, she might get some fame in the UK. She's not getting it in LA. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, Sha'Carri got arrested. I thought Sha'Carri was big. She gets arrested and it's not even in the press for like 4 days until we broke the story today. So that was number 3. Number 4, Derek Thompson, Philadelphia. He coaches Ajay Wilson. He coaches Nia Akins. Lots of training partners. Athing Mu, she's married. She has a husband. He's living in a big city. Maybe he wants to live in a big city. Philadelphia is a big city. UPenn has a big indoor track. It's a good option for me. Milton Mallard, Arizona State. Look, he coached her to the Olympic gold, World Championship gold. I thought this was going to be in my. I almost wrote this article a month ago. It made more sense then. He was still in LA. She wouldn't have to move. She could just go back and recreate the same. I don't actually like this idea because you don't want to be trying to recreate the old. You want to try to do something new. You want to be better. You don't want to just try to like, oh, I have to win gold, or I want to try to be as good as you want to try to be better. So I don't like going back to old coach, but he clearly did a good job with her. So he's at Arizona State now. That's an option. JJ Clark. He's coached all the Clark sisters. He's coaching Rosine Willis. He's doing a great job. He's in California. He knows how to coach women in 800. Let's be honest. And I didn't even have him in my top 5. I added him as a number 6. So that's 6. I mean, I had a few others actually, so I think I had 8. Mike Smith could do a nice job, but I don't see her going to Flagstaff. But Donovan Bazier's doing well finding her. And Joanna Hayes is in LA with Raven Rogers. But like, what's her track record in 800? She's doing okay with Raven Rogers, but I'd rather, Athing Mu go to an elite 800 coach with a proven track record. But to be honest, she probably doesn't need to do that. Unless there's like some reason why her body's fried at 23, which just seems unreasonable, like a Ryan Hall, a Jordan Hosea. If your body does give in, or Cyril Salazar, at some point your endocrine system gets shot and you're no good. But I've never seen it happen at 23, and she's an 800 runner, barely running any mileage. So it makes no sense to me that she would be past her physical peak. I think like 90% of the college coaches could coach Athing Mu to a medal of the World Championship. I'm pretty sure I could do it. So she just needs to find the right fit. And I want to defend Athing Mu. I don't think it's, if Walden's on the show, like, there was a head case too. He couldn't get in the top 5 in Ivy League when he didn't have a great coach. He wasn't training in altitude, whatever. But the difference with my brother, his high school, his college coach was beloved. But when he started training really properly and doing stuff that nobody else in this country was doing, high-low training, living in Flagstaff, 25 years ago, nobody did probably 2 hands, the number of people worldwide that were doing high-low training on my brother. He went from 3013 to 2806 in the 10K. Got 4th in the country professionally. From 5th in Ivy League, probably the 200th best college runner to 4th in the country professionally. But all of a sudden, he was tough and peaking. Nothing changed in his head. He just was confident. He was just a much better runner. And I remember that when his breakout in the 10K, he went through the 3,000 1 second off of his 3,000 PB from college. I felt like I always did. I felt the same at 3,000 as I used to, but I'm just running way faster because that man in the corner right there, John Kellogg, was coaching him. So Athing Mo, I'll be happy to coach you. I'll pay you 20 grand to coach you. John and I will coach you. We'll pay you 20 grand to let us coach you. So that's the article. Hopefully I can publish it today. Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's mean? I hope not. Bruce got him with some high-low training. High-low training is when you live at 7,000 feet, but you go down to lower altitudes, train, get the speed work. You don't really need to do that at 800. I mean, you can do most of your training high altitude, a lot of it. You probably should go down. Like altitude is not that important for the 800. It's not going to hurt though, right? I mean, Brazier got better when he moved altitude last year. So, people are wondering where Galt is. Well, the 100-meter runners are actually stars, and they're probably talking to Coleman about the arrest and all of that stuff. So, look, I did realize last night we went on for over an hour. The show was too long. Like, unless you were going for a run, if you're going for, if you're a hardcore runner and running for like an hour and a half, you have time to listen to podcasts all day. The average person, busy adult, they don't have all day. Should keep these shows a little shorter. But I may just do the show by my goddamn self all the time. But let's talk about Sha'Carri's arrest. So we heard earlier in the week that Sha'Carri had been arrested. Ray's Take said that on Twitter. He's been wrong about some things. So I just thought it was weird. I'm like, should we start a thread on this? Like, we didn't start a thread. There was nothing else about it. Someone named Aaron Brown said that they saw Sha'Carri in handcuffs at the airport on Twitter, but it didn't really take off. And as high profile as this woman, I thought it was weird. Weldon and I had John contact the Seattle Airport Police on Tuesday. Didn't hear back from anything. Yesterday, I was like, John, do you want to ask her about it? He's like, what am I going to say? It's just a rumor. I said, well, you could say Ray's Take said that she was arrested. We felt like it was a little bit too much of a rumor not to ask her. I probably would have done it. Again, I've been like, Rojo's mean. Rojo's mean to ask Ruth Chepengetich if it's too good to be true. Oh, and there they are, folks. We are now joined by Weldon Johnson and Jonathan Galt. I've already broken down the whole meet, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Wait.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Robert, can you hear us?
We can hear you loud and clear. So I was going through we were at the Sha'Carri Richardson arrest story. We heard the rumor from Ray's Take, and we contacted the police department. Nothing. We didn't hear back from them. They did not respond to our public relations request. So we kind of thought, well, maybe nothing happened. We didn't ask her about it yesterday. And then today, a supporters club member on the message board, I wish I had their name. I guess I could look it up. Publicly posted, just said Sha'Carri Richardson arrested, and posted a link to the police report or to the arrest report. And then they did email Jonathan Galt a full police report about what happened. So we knew she'd been arrested. We didn't know why. And we had the story up in Let's Run that Jonathan Galt broke to the world. Unfortunately, I think some outlets are not giving us credit for breaking it. They're citing the New York Times. I believe we were first, right, John? Where he is, Sha'Carri and Christian Coleman, who was her boyfriend, were in the airport. They're going through security. They got in a heated argument. And the police officer, who saw this on videotape. So Washington has very strict rules about reporting. If a police officer shows up and there's any indication of a domestic dispute, he has to arrest somebody within 4 hours. So Christian Coleman said there was nothing physical. He didn't want to be a victim. He did say they had a heated argument, but he was basically not cooperating because he didn't want Sha'Carri to get in trouble. And the police following happened. He said Sha'Carri was getting in his face, very upset, pushed him 2 times, her headphones, and hit him. And that's assault, I guess, of some sort. So she was arrested by now, but she spent the night in jail and then was released. It's a sad story. I mean, Sha'Carri's come from humble beginnings, has seen the highest of highs and the lowest of lows with the marijuana stuff. She was kicked off the American Airlines flight and was really good with the media yesterday. Sometimes she's not great with the media. was really nice. Honestly, when she was so nice to the media yesterday, I was wondering to myself, I'm like, I wonder if she's doing this because she knows the story is about to come out. And it came out today. She withdrew from the media. I don't know if that's because the story came out or not, but to me, it's just sad. Like, it seems like she's getting her life together. Maybe her track performances aren't as good as she was in the past. She seemed happy with Coleman. Now they've scrubbed it. They've had this altercation. They've scrubbed each other from their Instagram accounts. They appear to be broken up. So it's just not good. You don't like to see, there's a lot of passion in young relationships. I certainly understand the travels of stress in a young relationship, but personal level, it's sad to see. But I guess it's not that shocking given her, past.
Yeah, it's a sad story, and we don't know exactly everything that Sha'Carri's been through. She had a rough upbringing from what we understand, but she's been reluctant to share that story publicly. But yeah, this was a mistake, and it may end up like in terms of actual charges being filed. I'm not even sure if that happened because she was arrested on probable cause of this domestic violence, 4th degree assault, which is the lightest degree, and they had 72 hours to file a charge. The prosecutor's office at the city of SeaTac. Not sure if that happened yet. Been at the meet all day. But yeah, it's possible this whole thing has been dismissed, but obviously it was serious enough that the police got involved. So yeah, it's an unfortunate incident for her. Her season had not been going very well. This isn't great timing to have it happen right before the US meet. I don't think it had anything to do with her withdrawal from the 100 today. I don't think she was planning on running the 100 semis. It'll be interesting to see if she does line up for the 200 on Sunday. She's entered, but if she's not in great shape and she doesn't look to be in great shape right now, maybe she just doesn't even think it's worth trying out for that team. So, but she is still currently entered in the 200 as far as we know.
Shout out to Bandit Moves. He just dropped $100 tip. That's Bandit. That's the Supporters Club membership. Let's Run.com to subscribe. Email me, Robert, at Let's Run. Make sure you get a Supporters Club membership for that if you're not already a member. Well, people are.
All right, Robert, can we talk about some running here? Like, there was some races today. I don't know what you've gotten into.
Wait, one more thing about Sha'Carri. Darklink's got a good comment here. Fred and Sha'Carri are both their biggest enemies. There are some sort of parallels, I think, there. And what you do off the track can maybe affect what's going on. But also in the Sha'Carri incident, look, you can get arrested and charges aren't brought. Washington State has very strict laws. If an officer arrives at a scene within 4 hours of something occurring and thinks that, something occurred, he has to make an arrest. No discretion is allowed. And if you're in video allegedly shoving someone and throwing headphones on them, that would meet this definition. Whether that warrants further prosecution, sounds like Coleman doesn't want that. Maybe it's a personal matter between them. But assuming that the police report is accurate, like, you just can't be doing that in public. It could lead to something serious like an arrest. She sounded very positive yesterday facing the media, and I like the Sha'Carri that I heard about yesterday. I didn't hear it personally. I got here today. But can we talk about some track and field? Because I also heard from Athing Mo today, and I liked what she had to say. It sounded good, but what we saw on the track was not good. But Robert, where are we? What have you told everyone? What do you want to know from us?
Oh, I've pretty much broken down the whole meet. I mean, I know you didn't pay attention to the promotion of this show that was going to start at 10:30 live, and been 40 minutes in. I've gone through everything. Look, one last thing about Sha'Carri. I see why these rules exist. I mean, you often see it the opposite. You see the big NFL star, domestic dispute, the woman doesn't cooperate, and they get off because they say, oh, she can't cooperate. They're trying to protect someone who's like not in the financial situation to stand up for him. Here it's kind of the opposite. Sha'Carri makes way more money than Coleman. This is the type of thing to me that, I can see. Well, it's kind of actually like the Gerd Ingebrigtsen thing. Like technically what they did is a crime, but like, what should the punishment be, if anything? But we don't need to get into that. No, look, I broke down the overviews of the meet. I'm just curious, like, what y'all's perspective is of the big stories. I mean, first of all, the hundreds were crazy. 1065. Like, this was a good day for Grand Slam track in the sense that we're worried people running too early in the season weren't going to continue it. And, Kenny hadn't been racing a lot recently. He was amazing. And then Melissa Jeffer Woods in 1065 tied for 5th all time. I mean, that's totally legit. Trayvon Bromell, got a feel for him. 1084 doesn't make the team.
984 doesn't make the team. Yeah, that
980
men's 100, I haven't looked up the exact stats, but that's got to be one of the fastest 4th place finishes ever in any race. And I would have to guess that's the fastest time ever you run at USA's win legal and don't make the team. I mean, that's just.
But
I mean, it was. Let's be real. It was perfect sprinting conditions, or basically as good as you're going to get. Mid 80s, plus 1.8 wind. That's almost ideal tailwind, and it's a U.S. championship, so people are ready to run fast. They've got good competition, and all these guys came through. I mean, just look at the top 6 guys: PB, 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 season's best, PB, and that includes Maurice Gleaton, who tied the high school record 9.92 in 6th place. So sensational run by him. T-Mars McCallum, who he has had a totally bizarre season. If you look at his results, he was 7th in the SEC championship in the 100 meters, 8th at NCAA's in the 100 meters, and 3rd tonight in the U.S. final in 983. Now, he's had some fast times here and there. He ran 987 at the Ed Murphy meet a few weeks ago, barely win, over the allowable wind. He ran 1973 there, wind legal in a 200. So, clearly he's a talent, but, he was just saying, mentally, he didn't think he was putting things together at the first 2 meets and kind of shut his brain off. But, Bednarek, great run for Bednarek. And then Melissa Jefferson Wooden. Are you guys surprised she ran 10.65? Because I'm not. The way she's been running into those headwinds, it was just a matter of time before she get a friendly tailwind in a good, good weather, good track. And I knew she could do something like this. 10.65, now tied number 5 all time. So it wasn't even a huge tailwind. It was plus 0.4, but she's so good right now. She didn't need a huge one. She just didn't need she needed not a big headwind.
no, I said on the show, we were talking about the 10.6 coming, and she did it. So, look, for those of you that are having audio issues, I'm pretty sure it's a YouTube issue because no one's complained on X, and I think a lot of our visitors are on X right now. So if you're on X and you had any audio issues, please, or Facebook, please comment in the issue. I mean, in the chat, because it's just this one guy on YouTube. He keeps saying he's having problems. He said he closed out of his browser and got it live. So the hundreds were good. No, but let's just. I want to know what I always say. We spent a lot of money sending you guys there. So what did you learn from being there that I don't know? And the number one thing on my head is Athing Mo. I've already gone through my article that hopefully Weldon will give me permission to publish. I basically read it. Why she needs to move on and who the top candidates are. And what was her attitude after the race?
Well, you talked to her.
Her attitude was very upbeat. She smiled. Wasn't last year she was despondent, right? When she went down in the fall, it was like it was like a death that occurred. I mean, that's maybe too strong of a word, but it was a tragic event. This time she just, smiled, said all the right things. And then since she said mentally, I finally asked about her fitness because I don't think her fitness is there. And she said, well, I think some of that is related to the mental stuff. She made it sound like, coming back from last year, I don't know if there's other personal stuff. I don't know about that side of things, but just mentally, just getting ready to compete. It all has to be together, and it wasn't there. She then hinted, about how I maybe asked about college, and she said she loves running the 400. John, when's the last time she ran a 400?
2022. She's been with Bobby Kersey for 3 years. She has raced 0 400s. She has raced a 5K and dropped out. She has run 3 1,500 meters in 2025 alone. No 400s.
And so maybe I could have pressed her a little more, but there's other media members there. And she said, well, I love running the 400. I look forward to doing it. And I like that more than the 1,500. And, at Texas. And then John kind of came to me and said, have you asked her directly about Kersey? And
about leaving Kersey? Has she considered it, essentially?
And so I think, how did I phrase it, John? I said, essentially, I didn't ask her that, but
did you give some thought to your training group, that sort of thing? Her answer, I thought, was interesting because she said, well, when you make changes to a training group, it's never easy to make adjustments. She's acting like this is year 1. This is year 3. And she has not made the world championship team.
Hard to make adjustments. What is she talking about? She won the goddamn Olympic gold her first year at Texas A&M.
Well, when you change coaches, sometimes one coach coaches you differently than another coach, Robert. I can understand that having a new coach, there might be some adjustments for her. She's moving out on her own in a new city. I can understand that. But no, here are the facts of the matter. She's 23 years old. She is
only 23 years old, maybe we should say, right?
She's an Olympic champion and a world champion. She's the fastest American ever in this event. She has been healthy the entire season, and she has not even made the final of the United States Championship.
But John,
that is an unmitigated disaster, and you have to seriously consider changing the coach after such a season.
You don't have to consider it. You have to do it. The Nike people are like, we're paying you $750,000. You got to get out of here. And the sad thing is, you're kind of saying that like that. That's a surprise. Darkling nailed it. She performed as expected. It's woefully disappointing, but this is what I expected. I mean, I was really debating. I published the article before the meet because I didn't want to wait. And then people were like, oh, you're only going to publish it if she does it. That's Brad. No, I was willing to go on record ahead of time. She needs to get, I did say it on the podcast. She needs to get rid of Bobby. Like, he's not an 800-meter coach. I don't know how to coach the sprints. And yes, there's I didn't coach the 400, but the 400 guys that move up to the 8, I can still coach them. They can still run a fast 4. There's some overlap between the 8 and the sprints, but well, I mean, I hope you all are upset. I did offer $20,000 on this podcast to come be coached by John Kellogg and me. I think 90% of the NCAA coaches could coach her to an Olympic medal easily, unless her endocrine system is much shot, which I don't think is the case. So it was just like, and I disparaged Weldon Johnson. I said, I don't think it's mental for her. People can say, oh, she doesn't love running. Like, if she was running well, she would love it. When you get bad at coaching, you're not confident. It spirals on her head. She doesn't look upset like she did in 2023 or 2022, whenever it was, 2023. Like, when she didn't love running, she's saying the right thing. She seems happy. She just got married. She's just running like crap because she got a guy who doesn't know how to coach 800. And we have proof of that because Brandon Miller was in the group, ran terrible that year. And then he goes to Danny Mackey and he's great.
Right. Robert, there are two things at work here. I think she would do better in a situation where she can really learn to enjoy the sport. She has been saying that this year. She wants to get back to enjoying it. And I asked her, like, Texas A&M, you had such a great time there. She really enjoyed being part of the team. Her face lit up when I brought up that year. She was like, yeah, I think it would be good to get training partners to be more in a team environment because she has to do a lot of workouts alone. But then the basic facts after watching her run 4 800-meter races this season is, one, she's not in good shape right now, not by her standards. And two,
she wasn't in good shape last year either, John.
Well, she ran 158 last year after tearing her hamstring right before the trials, Robert, and that's faster than she's run in any of her races this year. The second issue is she's just not a strong tactical runner because she didn't need to worry about that sort of stuff.
That she's not, but that doesn't
Robert,
matter.
she ran like the whole race in lane 2 today.
So,
you don't think that her?
So,
it didn't.
Guess
it
who
was
also
the
ran?
difference between
John, guess who also ran lane 2 and nobody said a damn thing about it?
Cooper Luckenhaus.
Sage Hurticlocker ran almost the whole thing in lane 2, and nobody said a damn thing about it. It's her tactics are terrible. They're not good, but that's not the issue here. She's not making this team with perfect tactics. Nowhere close to making this team. So look, she needs to move on. Has Weldon read the article? I know you've read the article, John.
I haven't read your article.
Oh, y'all didn't read it.
Weldon said he was reading it.
I've read it.
So I want John to go. John, that's who I said number 1 candidate to coach her. Not be shocked by my number 1 pick.
Repeat what you said, Robert.
Guess who the number 1 pick is to who I think should coach her?
Oh, to John? Well, I've read the article. For John, you say who it is.
The number 1 person you think should coach her?
Be part of a team.
Part of a team? You didn't say, you didn't say Trevor Painter, did you?
Well, I did say on the show tonight, I said, if this was baseball, she'd be going to the UK. They would, Otani, all the people.
But
like she would be going Trevor Painter.
that's not
She's
going to
the
happen.
That's the best middle distance group in the world. There's celebrities over there. I don't think she wants to move to the UK, but they all Nike. So it would be amazing. Maybe it's embrace training with your rival. I don't think that's happening.
Right.
So my option, number one option, Diljit Taylor. She's got a team. She's a kick-ass woman. She loves fashion. She dresses up. They can wear high heels to the freaking start line, man. It would be epic. You've got this beautiful black woman with this, I forgot where Diljit's from, living in white as hell, Utah. It's a cool story. Going from LA to Provo. It's just fun. I think it would be fun. I would want her there, though. I don't want remote coaching. Diljit, though, is such an amazing personality. She probably could coach her remotely. But I think you're right. I want her on a team with other women. Or maybe
I think that's a good pitch, Robert. I think that would make sense. I mean, I think it's not the only one that makes sense, but it's a Nike sponsored group. Taylor, how many athletes have you heard complain about their experience under Diljit Taylor? It seems like she's near universally beloved by her athletes. So I think that would be and she's obviously a great coach. So I think that'd be a good fit.
Robert, there is one coach who you told me you're trying to put in your article, who I think honestly should be number one. He has coached a world champion at 400 meters. He has swept the Olympic trials of the 800 meters. He had 24 years ago. And today he coaches 2 NCAA champions. J.J. Clark. His wife, I forgot about this, Jill Miles Clark, won the 400 in 1993. In 2000, the family, this is nuts, guys, for people who are too young. His 2 sisters and his wife went 1, 2, 3 at the Olympic trials in the 800. That is so sick if you think about it. But he's 400 experience, 800 experience. He coaches 2 athletes. So I'm like, someone from LA is not going to move to Northern California. Well, someone from LA is not going to move to Utah either. So either one of those would work well. Although the issue there it's 2 direct rivals you're coaching, whereas Diljit doesn't coach anyone in the 800. Or actually, she does. Never mind. So I take that back.
So, I mean, that was obviously the big story for the women's 8. The men's 800, what's one of my mantras? Well, if you're new to the show, I would say talent doesn't go away, so that's good for Athing, Mo. My other mantras is you have one move in the 800. Cooper Wilkenhouse had at least 1.5, if not 2 moves. That was so special. And me and Jason Stewart, the Kiwi Olympian, agree. We think like he's probably not going to make the team, but he's the best guy after the top 4. And it wouldn't shock us if he runs 143 in the final.
I mean, 143 for a 16-year-old is just so ridiculous. I can barely even wrap my mind about it. But it's also like, would I be 100% shocked if he ran that? No. I mean, my prediction for him, I think he'll run 144. I think he'll be like maybe 5th or something like that. Like, he'll run really well. I don't think he'll make the team because this is like one of the hardest U.S. teams ever to make in the 800 meters. But the fact that he's a 16-year-old in the final in one of the deepest years ever for American 800 meter running is just sick. It's totally crazy, insane.
Okay, let me just finish up with these. I have these quotes now from Athing, Mo. I absolutely love the 400. I think it's really fun. It's nothing compared to the 800. I think it's way easier than the 800. It's just something that helps me get into top shape, helps me feel fast. Yet she's run none of them under him. It's crazy. And then but Robert, it's not over for her. I broached the topic of the Diamond League final. She can still make worlds.
No, she can't. I looked at the math. The most you get for a win is 8, and like 8th place in the standings is 11 right now. She need to run Lausanne, win the 800, and hope you get like 5 scratches. It's not happening. She's not going to Worlds.
She can't even get in the Diamond League final, which is just sad. This is because we all see the talent. We know she's like.
No, I saw it 3 years ago.
I'm not writing her off. I think she could win another gold medal one day. She's still only 23, but 100%. I think something needs to change.
Yeah, she loves. She said
Yeah.
it herself. She hasn't run a single
I'm
one.
not ruling it out. I don't think this is the case. I think it's all Kersey, but I'm not ruling it out as a 0% chance that she could go to somewhere else and not be good. Somehow, like she's like a Jordan Say or Ryan Hall just shot for some reason. I don't know why it would happen at 23 when she barely runs, but I mean, we've seen plenty of high school female stars not matured. Now she was still PRing at 21, so it wouldn't make any sense. But
okay, we're talking about generational talent, and this connects to Cooper Luckenhouse. Is this like Jim Ryan back in the day or something like that? Like this kid is a sophomore in high school, and he is showing like essentially he's as good as like he's better than Colin Solomon, I think. Who's like turning heads, like one of the best recruits ever. And I'm like, wow, I made the final, and I'm fully maybe Colin will beat him, but the guy who's looked better in both rounds has been Luckenhouse. If this wasn't like the best 800-meter year ever in the United States, I'd be thinking he maybe could make the team, but I just don't. I think it's just too talented up front. But the guy has looked so amazingly well. John, that race today, Robert, did you really go through that race? So I was talking to somebody. They said, imagine that was like Josh Hoey, who's like leading, let's say, gets tripped up.
You'd say it was super impressive for whoever did it.
Loses a ton of ground and then comes back and storms to make the final.
I don't think Don. Well,
so amazing.
What do you think of Brazier? I mean, he kind of had to work to get to second there.
Yeah, I was asking about that, and he's like, I'm like, were you going all out? And he didn't really quite want to say, but he's like, I knew I had to, I knew I had to get top two, and that race was so fast that he ended up, it didn't need to be top two, but obviously there's only 2 auto spots. Yeah, I looked at that, I'm like, all right, it could be tough for him in the final, like these guys, but he did what he needed to do. He advanced, and I was asking him, how would you handle racing back-to-back days? Because remember, this guy's run, before today, before USA's, he'd run 3 800s in the last 3 years. And now he's supposed to run 3 in the next 4 days, 3 and 4 days to make the team. But he said the legs, they were a little, he could feel the race from them yesterday, but he seemed pretty good. And I think he's like, I like that we got a day to recover. So he thinks he'll be good for the final. But yeah, I watched that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not like, it didn't make me more confident, I say, but I'm still not writing him off the team. But one take that Weldon and I both agreed on was we were watching those prelims, and between Hoey and Hoppel, the battle for the win, I think we all agree it's probably going to be one of those two. I picked Hoey going in just because he's been beating Hoppel all year. But based on the semis today, Hoey at the end just reminded me a little bit of World Indoors, where in the final, he was tying up a bit towards the end. I just got a premonition that I can see him leading the whole final on Sunday. I can see him running 142, and I can see Hoppel just streaking past him for the victory. So I don't know, Robert, do you agree with that take? Because Weldon said the same exact thing to me, and I was already kind of thinking it based on how these semis looked.
I didn't pay that much attention to it. Yeah, I don't think he's a lock. What have we been saying on other races? It's hard to lead. But what about Addie Wiley? How worried are you now? I kind of viewed her as a lock. I'm not viewing her as a lock anymore.
Yeah, I'm worried. I mean, if she does in the final what she did today, I don't think she's gonna make the team. And she was sort of spinning it as a positive, like, she was able to get through. But I see that, I don't like when the pre-meet favorite is tying up in the end of the semifinal and getting past. Like Rasheem Willis, I just compared those two. I was like, Rasheem Willis just ran that so much smarter. It's like at NCAAs. She let Michaela Rose go and kill herself up front, timed it perfectly. She did the same thing in the semifinals against Wiley today. And Wiley, I was talking to her. She's like, yeah, that wasn't my plan, but then I ended up kind of doing it anyway, and it worked out all right. But I don't know. I don't think that's a 56. She shouldn't be going out in 56 in the final. I guess I'll just say that.
It was 56.98, but I'm with you.
It was just way too fast. She's not at that level. It's what cost her. She runs
she's at that level.
What?
She's at that level, but why do you want to run 156 in the prelim? You don't need to do that. She's a 156 runner. She definitely is at that level.
That's what you need to go out at 57?
You can go 57, 59. What's the standard lap 1 to lap 2 in 800, John?
Usually it's +2, right? +2 seconds is kind of the factor. Okay. Too many. We yeah. 2 Johns is an issue.
I mean, Nia Akins is looking good. That was a question mark coming in, and Ajay Wilson sort of
So if you go 57 flat, which
got
is
a chance to make it, bro.
And I mean, Raven Rogers also worried me because she was up near the front like the whole time, which is a little unusual for her. I was like, oh, she must be feeling super confident. She's just hanging out there. She doesn't even care. And then she ran out of steam, and Maggie Congdon came on strong. Rogers ended up needing a time qualifier to advance. Now, could I still see her kicking people down the third on Sunday? Absolutely. But I think this race is, it's really fascinating. I guess based on these rounds, I'd bump Akins into the favorite spot ahead of Addie Wiley. I know she's had her inconsistencies this year, but she has won the last 2 U.S. titles outdoors. She won indoors this year. She ran 158.09 today. I think she's the best runner in the field right now. I think I trust her a little bit more than Addie Wiley in a championship final. And Ajay Wilson also was talking like, she just said she's had way more consistency in training. This basically, Robert, she's been dealing with something, and it really prevented her from training. She would feel tired a lot, and you were like, what's this great mystery? Because she never really went into the details the last couple of years, and I think one of the reasons is she had tried to consult with doctors and find out the explanation, and she never really got one. She never really got a solution to it, but she has been feeling better. She's been able to do her full training load this year, and that is why she thinks she's back to running 158s and in contention to make another world championship team.
And Rosine Wallace, she didn't race between NCAs, and now I think that's sort of weird, John, but she's quietly, winning the heat in the final. So she's very good.
I don't know if it's weird. Like, sometimes it depends where the athlete's at. If you really like some of the athletes, the NAU athletes, it's interesting. Colin Salmon and Maggie Congdon were both in the 1500 at NCAAs, and then they drop down, start running the 800 at these meets, start PRing, run it at USAs, and now they're in the final. But I think other athletes, it's about, this is where coaching comes in. You got to see what your athlete needs. Do they need a race in there, or do they need to sort of back off and just focus on some training? Because, over the next 6 weeks, Rasheem Willis, so far, so good. She's in the final. Now we'll see how it goes, but it may have just been like, hey, we don't want to risk anything in between. I know Robert's a believer. We need to be running 25 800s a year because my college coach told me that, way back. But I think there are different roads to Rome in that event.
It's another late night here, guys. I'm running out of steam. It's just, I think I said before you guys were on the show, I feel like 2025 is just a Rojo victory tour. I don't take great joy in Quincy Wilson not making the final, but it seems like everything that I said this year, big predictions, like Weldon's worried, like we're too mean. I just say the things that I believe. I can't help it. Normally, I am kind of a perfectionist, so I just point out, like, normally that's not perfect. Hobbs Kessler's a damn good runner, but I don't see him getting to that level. Could he medal? Yeah. But I don't think he's a Laros. I don't think he's a Hawker. I don't think he's a Nagoose.
Robert's tired. The YouTube app, and never on here, telling me to insert an ad right now, guys. We're going to try this. We're going to see what happens. I don't know if this takes a 30-second break or what happens here. Let's go. Did it do anything? How can we tell, actually? Someone on YouTube, give us a comment. Or are you seeing an ad right now? Well, actually, they wouldn't be able to hear us. Maybe in the replay, it puts an ad. All right, guys, we'll keep talking, assuming an ad isn't being put on here.
All right. I mean, any other final things we want to hit? I thought Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni looked good. I mean, she ran almost as fast as she did at pre, and this is only a semi in the 400, 49.59. So she did well. It's nice to see Britton Wilson running well again. It's kind of crazy, the injuries she's been through, because she had those stress fractures in her shins in 2023. And she was still dealing with the after effects this season. Like she said, yeah, I kind of got a late jump on the training because I was still coming back from them. And that was over 2 years ago at this point, but she is still a monster talent. She said she wants to get back to the 400 hurdles again at some point. So it was great to see her run well. She's in contention. Men's 400, I mean, apart Quincy Wilson missing the final is obviously, I would say that's the big story there. And then, Robert, any other parting thoughts you wanted to share?
Let's hear your predictions. Tomorrow, a lot of finals. 1500s, steeples, 400s, men's 1500 meter picks. I haven't changed anything. Hawker, Nagoose, Strand.
Hawker, Nagoose, Kessler. I'm riding with what I picked rolling in. I mean, Strand and Kessler, I thought both looked good in the prelims, and Hawker and Nagoose looked exceptional. So I have no reason to back off from those two. Yeah. Weldon, anything changed for you after the semis?
Okay, if we all agree if one of the big three doesn't make it, it's probably Kessler. I'm going to throw out there if one of the big two doesn't make it. What do you think it is?
Nagoose.
I agree.
I mean, I just think Hawker's the Olympic champion's not even going to make the U.S. team. I just really don't see a world in which that happens. I think he's got too many tools. I think he ran 3:27. He's also got one of the best kicks I've ever seen. Like, I just don't see how that guy doesn't make the team. Whereas Nagoose, I can at least envision the scenario, which is he leads the whole thing. He runs 3:30.9, and three guys get past him in the home straight. I think it's unlikely, but I could see it.
I'm just coming back to it's hard to lead. And I think these guys are getting better behind him. So could you see it? He leads. Hawker. If I'm gonna have Hawker winning, and I have Hawker obviously coming by Nagoose, then could you see Hawker, Kessler, Strand, something like that, or anyone else besides not even necessarily Strand, because we don't even know if Strand can run 3:29.
Wow. I didn't think for some reason this USA is Kevin John Gallagher's level running back. He's listening in the background. He's with you, Weldon. He's like, wait. He's like, if Nagoose leads, I can see it going. Hawker, Strand, Kessler.
But here's the thing with Nagoose. I saw him race Hobbs Kessler and Cole Hawker at the pre-classic less than a month ago. He just ran away from them. I know he had a rabbit. I know he had wave light, but he ran a 3:45 mile. He just dusted those guys. So
yeah, but
I think USA.
Remember, the leading's a second lap. Unless your name Faith Kipiegon.
According to what?
According to the Jakob Ingebrigtsen, what I see every time with Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
So he could have run 3:25 in the Olympic final. You're saying?
Jakob with a
rabbit. He ran 3:28.2 in the Olympic final with leading the whole thing.
Bad Clams has the post of the night. Everyone's talking about Quincy Wilson, how amazing he is. He's like, Aaron Knighton got fourth in the Olympics at Quincy Wilson's age. Younger.
No, did he really?
I mean, they're both 17, but Aaron Knighton was a young 17 because Aaron Knighton is only – Quincy Wilson is 17 years and 206 days right now. He was born in January, whereas Aaron Knighton was born in – they're both January, so.
Like, yeah, because, I mean, that was one of the most ridiculous achievements ever. Aaron Knighton, at the end of his junior year of high school, getting fourth at the Olympics. He's one of the old-time freak talents. So just because Quincy Wilson didn't do that this year, you're comparing against one of the great under 18 performances we've ever seen.
And we still think of Aaron Knighton as he's only 21, but Athing Mo is only 2 years older than him. Really, a year and a half. She just turned 23.
Does that mean is the meet on from 4 to 6 tomorrow night, or is it 4 to 6:30?
The Lost event goes a little bit past the TV window, I think. So it's 4 to a little bit off the 6 p.m. Eastern.
They couldn't. They really need like these gaps. They couldn't get the women's steeple on TV.
I don't know. I mean, tonight they do nothing. Well, and before we came into the stadium today, a Let's Run visitor said that we need to be more positive. I think someone might have taken issue with John's article on where do the meets go in the USA's. Meanwhile, I had two other people, one very well connected with USATF, journalist saying that's one of the best articles they read. So congratulations, John. And he was saying essentially like, oh, and Robert says he doesn't want to go to Eugene, track down's dead. I think Robert can be a bit crass in how he states it. I think we do have too many meets here. But even how they present stuff, they now have added Paralympians to this field. There was a gap of 1 hour before the men's 100-meter final where there was like essentially nothing going on. Like it was a couple Paralympic races and then maybe the decathlon 1500. Like if you were here watching the semifinals, like it just was not presented for fans, and the place was largely empty. John, would you say 1/4 full?
Maybe a
Third?
Well, maybe a third. They do have the upper sections topped off on the back straight. Yeah, I would say between I mean, the ticketed spectator count yesterday was 5,000. The place seats 12,000. So they're saying it's more like 40% full there.
But this, let's get back to what we saw tonight. This was the heavyweight boxing final, the 100 meters. That's the premier event in track and field. And we saw stellar performance.
I don't understand. Correct.
And
the sport's dead. The sport's dead in Eugene.
And this place is special. Hayward Field is special. It's the home of track and field in America, and we don't even come close. One, we don't put on a great meet besides the 100. Well, it wasn't presented for spectators, and no one was here to see it.
And the other issue is the World Championship buys. Noah Lyles and Sha'Carri Richardson are the two biggest track stars in the United States. They didn't have to run the 100 at this meet because they have the World Championship buys. So you eliminate those, you get bigger stars in there, and it makes for a more compelling meet.
It's just a different world. There's no AP report. Even us, Let's Run, we talk about the distances we blow off. We didn't talk about Rudy Winkler's win in the hammer for Cornell. Like the whole sport is not providing. We're having the nichification of America. I mean, of sports. That's just the way it works. But yes, our sports become a joke, and people don't want me to say that. But I started with the World Marathon Majors. They used to focus on the elite stuff. Now it's just the mass races. We're a charity for the mass races there, and now they're lumping us in with the Paralympians, like the USOPC. Why? I want to promote track and field, not the Paralympians. Like when I go to an NBA game, I don't want to see the Paralympians. Now we're just part of this. And I walked into the office right before the 100. I'm like, is the TV even on? Because they were showing an overhead crowd of an empty stadium with nothing going on. Weldon's right. It's a joke. You don't have an hour. You don't run a heat with 31 people in the 100 and have 27 make it. Like they're not presenting it as a professional sport. But who do you expect to go to Eugene and pay $45 a seat? It's a city of 175,000. They have every track meet in the world there, and you can pay $180 or normally, not this year, stay home and watch it for free. It's $45 a seat. And the house that we used to rent for 10 years every year, the guy said, look, I used to get season tickets, and they gave me all the meets. But they don't do that anymore. So you got to buy you're going to go tonight, sit there for an hour, pay $180 for a family of four.
But Robert, let's be real. What city in America is going to draw more fans? We got by the way, I just got an email. The official ticketed spectators numbers for tonight was 5,996, according to Tracktown USA.
You've never seen people run as fast as that. It's sad. It's very, very sad.
Okay, but I guess I'm asking Robert. We've had this debate a million times on the show. What city in America is going to draw more people to a U.S. final than Eugene? I'm just not confident there is one.
Oh, almost any city. Put it in Baltimore, we'd easily have 5,000 people at a track meet.
You easily would have 5,000. First of all, where are you holding this meet in Baltimore?
I don't know. Put it at Johns Hopkins, Loyola. It doesn't matter. I don't need a big stadium. I have no idea. But it's not like they should have a 4-day meet. But that would be my thing. Like Grand Slam track should have a 3-day meet. If I was going for fans, but I don't know. There's no point in having this. People are mad that I point out the obvious.
We'll have it later. By the way, the reason the Paralympic events are happening at this meet is because USATF is now the governing body for Paralympic track and field as well. That didn't used to be the case. I think Paralympics, I believe they were just under the auspice of USOPC, but now they're the governing body in the US for Paralympic track.
Why? That's the story I want to hear. Is why?
I'm not sure why. That's a different story. But I would say if they're being tasked with staging 2 national championships, from their perspective, I think it makes sense fiscally to combine them and not to spend all this extra money holding a Paralympics championship somewhere else that no one's going to show up to watch. All right, Robert. I think that's going to do it from Eugene on day 2. I know it's another late night for you, so thanks for staying up and going in alone back in Baltimore. Tomorrow, the meet, much more reasonable hours for the East Coasters, and the podcast, much more reasonable hours, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern, 1500 finals, mouth-watering steeple finals. It's going to be great. Can't wait to break it down with both of you guys. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll try to do a Supporters Club meetup tomorrow. Weldon, you want to do the 1500? I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Check the schedule.
Now going on for an hour and 20 though after this night. It wasn't that much action.
What'd you say, Robert?
Too long of a show. We need to keep the podcast to 30 minutes. The problem is you guys won't be done with your interviews.
We didn't know
So
you
Christian
had
Rojo, I'm siphoning up. Hey, Grand Slam Track claims they're a startup. I'm going to start up and I'm going to, like, the parent company siphons off the Rojo. Rojo's just too hot this year. It needs to be his own little IPO. You guys are like the legacy media, and I'm the digital startup part of Let's Run.
Okay, Robert. All right.
Wait, the men's 1500? Well, the meet starts early. We're going to meet up at 11 o'clock tomorrow, John? Or are you saying after?
I don't know. Well, then.
What are you saying? We have to start posting now. We have to tell people now.
No, you're not doing a meetup before the meet.
Because afterwards, it'll be too late. I think we should do before the meet. I think Robert, do you think this should be the thing? The day of the 1500-meter final, that is always when the meetup is. Unless we vote for another thing.
I think that's a good
Mr. and Mrs. Loros agree to show up.
What did you say?
As long as Mr. and Mrs. Loros agree to show up.
Well, for Tokyo, that'll be our rule. We'll have it on the 1500 final night. All right. I mean, yeah, maybe we just turn it into brunch and coffee somewhere.
All right. So let's see. The meet starts here. Let me just.
The meet starts at 12:14 p.m. So when do you want? Maybe it'll be 11 a.m.
No, you always skip the hurdles first round.
And you miss the world record. Grant Holloway, this will be when he breaks the world record.
The meet really starts at 1. I think the meetup should be at 11:30. Is that too late, John?
I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out. We don't need to decide right this second. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Let'sRun.com/subscribe if you want to join the Supporters Club and get these on demand as a podcast. Thanks, everyone, for staying up, listening to us. See you tomorrow.